We're coming with an informational Tuesday Newsday and also an NHP smoke sesh, as usual. Enjoy.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. Natural Habitat Podcast.
Breaking news music.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, lay it on me.
All right. Are you recording?
I am.
All right.
Okay, great.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, okay, I'm waiting. This is great breaking news music. Oh, shit. Welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast. Tuesday Newsday, everybody. We're here to learn you something. My name's Mikey Booyah.
My name's Unknown.
And we are the tag team duo that are the hosts of the Natural Habitat Podcast. Now, people say, did you watch the news last night? And you say no. And they go, well, what'd you do? Did you, do you have are you friends with Fox News on Facebook? You say no. You say, I listen to Tuesday Newsday on the Natural Habitat Podcast. They schooled me on shit that matters. And they also left out all the filler bullshit that's about nothing. Because, when I look up news online or watch the news, I get maybe 2 pieces of informational things that I'll take away, and the rest is a bunch of filler, fear propaganda,
Agenda.
Or cute puppies and cookies and shit.
Yep.
We don't got
It's all
that.
agenda. Yep. Somebody's pushing some kind of corporate line. So
Mhm.
the only way to avoid that is to seek alternative news.
Yeah, what did I say? The only hidden agenda that we have here is in our cell phone pockets of our dickies, where our weed containers go, and that's it.
Yep.
I don't know.
That won't even be hidden.
Are you a dickies guy, Joey?
Yeah.
Do you ever put your cell phone in your cell phone pocket?
Nope.
You put weed in there mostly, right?
Well, yeah, amongst other things. I feel like your phone will just fall out of there.
Yeah, that sounds really dangerous.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody use that for its intended purpose.
Yeah, well, another thing is I don't even have a phone. I haven't had a phone in over a year, probably like a year and a half now. I got over it. I had dope-ass phones, and I just got sick of the plan shit and got sick of all of it and just got rid of it. And I've been happy ever since.
So
I don't have people blowing me up. I don't have fucking random text messages or hate mail, voicemails, or fucking any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot stress-free.
Yep. Living off the grid. And
Yeah.
I had a really important question that slipped out of my brain when I...
Damn.
Oh, wait, I remember what it was. So it's really difficult for you to put your cell phone anywhere, let alone in your cell phone pocket, because it's non-existent. See, that was more of just a joke statement and not a question. So it lost a little bit of its value. We haven't been here for a Tuesday Newsday for a couple weeks. Last week we had Got Bass on here, and we took over the Tuesday and brought you the news of his tour, because that was more important than anything that was happening in the news. So we let it stockpile up, and now we have literally. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we got too much news,
Too much.
too much stuff to cover.
And it's still more shit's happening every day, and it's like we can't keep up there right now.
As we're recording this podcast, something else just happened, and Twitter is ablaze from it, and we need to learn that and talk about that as well as these other 30 things we have. So we'll touch on things, we'll keep them short and sweet, and try to move along. Joey's going to try to say something inappropriate for everyone, and I'm going to try to say something funny, and we'll keep it going. So what was what was the biggest thing that you found, Joey? Your number one top news story. Let's hit him with the gold right away.
Number one is the floods in Japan. So they just got a bunch of rain. They got like the amount they would get for the whole month of September in like one day, and there was these flash floods, and it looked very reminiscent of when the tsunami hit over there, and it literally was wiping houses away, and it looks like the same exact footage. It looks like the tsunami footage from 2013 or 2011 or whatever it was, you know.
Man, that's
crazy. It was 2013. But yeah, so it's pretty gnarly from all the video. I'm sure people have seen it. If you haven't, it's because you're not watching the right news.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I think number one, because they had these bags of radiated water that were cleaned up, like that they couldn't get rid of, you know, contaminated bags of water. They were like the size of small houses, and they were all stacked up from the Fukushima shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And their plan was to release them out in the ocean somewhere, and
Great
80
plan.
of them got yeah. Okay, that's obviously not the right idea, but anyways, so 80 of them got swept away in the flood, and each one of them was ginormous. It's not like just a bag of water. It's like a fucking house-sized bag of water. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and 80 of them got fucking washed away, and nobody knows what happened to them. So there's all these ticking, radiating time bomb bags of water out there, and nobody, you know, if you don't know what it is, you're just gonna see this thing wash up, and you know, and you're just gonna think it's all good, and you have little do you know you're about to poison everything for 1,000 years.
Yep. And it's I don't know. There's really no telling what's going to happen from the aftermath of that. I think that a lot of those bags have probably already popped open, and it's just the streets are filled with radioactive Fukushima water. But you know, it's an unfortunate thing that human beings in such a short time have created all this technology, gone so far, and destroyed so much of the planet. And we already have 3 places on the earth that we can't go, that nobody could go anymore because it's poisonous, and we destroyed it. And it's fucked up, because if you think about how long we've been around and just this short point of, like, this short piece of existence that we've had nuclear power and all this technology that's fucking everything up, we're doing it to ourselves, man. We shouldn't have giant house-sized bags of radioactive water that we're getting ready to go dump in the ocean, you know? That shouldn't have been happening in the first place.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't even know what to do with our own radiation from nuclear power plants and testing and shit that we do over here, you know? Like, we have mountains carved out and stashed full of fucking radiated shit that we have no idea what to do with. We have nowhere to send it. You know, it's just poisoning everything. It poisons the ground. It poisons the groundwater. It poisons everything. Everything it comes in contact with, and the half-life of it is forever. You know, it's like thousands of years or some shit, 30,000 years. I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist. Don't quote me on some dumb shit. But
well, that's close enough.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy. So who knows what's going on? Who knows where those giant 80 bags of fucking poison water went? And hopefully they don't fall into irresponsible hands and something even worse happen. You know?
Yeah. I think that human hands are irresponsible hands. We're
obviously.
We're already, like I said, it's weird how we just fuck everything up. I heard about during the Cold War in the early 60s that we blew up a hydrogen bomb in space 250 miles above the Pacific Ocean, and it was Project Starfish Prime. You can look it up. And what happened was we blew it up to see if the bomb's radiation would distort our view of like incoming missiles and shit, if the explosion would damage any nearby objects, or if the Van Allen belts would move and blast down bands like of energy onto the earth. So they were trying to use the belts of radiation around the earth as a weapon. And no, there's no telling what that did to our atmosphere. You know what I mean? Blowing up a hydrogen bomb in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
When they do it underwater, it's an even bigger blast than it is on ground. So it's like, I wonder what it's like in space where there's, you know what I mean? That everything's completely different. There's no atmosphere. So.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop it. There's no mass to stop it. So the explosion just goes fucking forever. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I'm tripping out now. All right.
We're super smart.
I also we're super smart. I also found out I was reading about this stupid bitch Kim Davis in Kentucky, that clerk that won't issue marriage licenses. Well, supposedly they suspended her from work, and then she did some sort of jail time and was locked up for a little bit for whatever, and then they let her back to work, and the bitch is still not issuing marriage licenses. Like, what the fuck? Why is that? For one, why does she still have her job? And for two, why is the world, including me, talking about this? You know what I mean? This is like the biggest news in the world, that this bitch is prejudiced. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Fire her already and find someone who will do her job.
Yeah, I don't know. The reason why it's such a big deal is because it's deflection. You know, this is just a Republican issue. They're the ones who are against gay marriage, so they're the ones who are making a big deal about it. You know,
well, it's over. Gay marriage is legal nationwide, so give it up. Like,
people in the state or city or wherever she's at can easily just go around it and go to another city or state. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a big issue. Gay marriage is passed. It's legalized. You know what I'm saying? They can go do whatever they want, wherever they want. You know, so it's not like the whole situation hinges on that one place. Like, she's the fucking only thing that matters. It's just a fucking big issue because right now the Republican Party is losing. They don't have any significant weight in the presidential race whatsoever. And their front man so far is Donald Trump, which is an absolute fucking joke. So it's like, you know what I mean? They're in a fucking crazy place right now, and they're just trying to make whatever type of stories they can turn into bigger issues so they can try to get more people to rally for the vote. And you know what I mean? That's what time it is right now, you know? So it's election time, and people are getting crazy and reducing to fucking bogus stories like this. You know, they're making this an issue that's really a non-issue. She's a nobody.
Exactly. And like you said,
it'll take care of itself.
Like you said, they can go to anybody. People are choosing to go to her because of, you know, the whole thing and what's going on. And they're like, oh, I'm going to have her do it, make her do this shit. And then she's still choosing not to do it. And it's all like, I think it's all a big show. It feels like a big show to me. Yeah. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. But like you said, it's all subliminal campaigning right now, and all of these little things are going to be popping up in the news and being huge things and not going away. And I mean, if you're just absorbed in the media, this shit will change the way you think. You know what I mean? It'll slowly implant these things in your head and make you think certain things, and then when a debate comes up about it, you'll have this preloaded thought that's not yours, that someone else put in your head, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that I know, that blah blah blah, and you'll start reciting some bullshit that fucking someone else said. And you know, it's fucked up. Think for yourself, guys. That's what I always like to say, besides the Spencer thing, is you know, don't buy weed from Spencer, don't be a square, be aware, and think for yourself. You know, there's only one you, so don't let anybody else be you for you.
And hashtag Yogle.
And hashtag Yogle. I say that sometimes.
So you heard about the crane collapse in at the Mecca, right?
Yeah, that was strange, coinciding on 9/11.
So luckily, the shit didn't really start yet, because it starts towards the end of the month, like the 23rd or some shit like that, and everybody's like making their trip there now. You know what I'm saying? So far it's 107 people killed. Man, and that's a lot. And the crazy part is that it happened on 9/11, and the crane was owned by the Bin Laden family. So it's like, a double whammy. You know what I'm saying?
And did they say what happened? Was it just a malfunction of the crane and it fell over?
Yeah,
they
I'm
tried
sure.
to pick up too much weight.
It wasn't like it was on purpose or anything.
Oh yeah, it was.
But the coincidence is there, you know, and it's a pretty huge coincidence.
Well, I heard
that
allegedly that Kevin Bacon had something to do with it.
Yep.
Allegedly. That's
Read the bacon.
That's crazy, man. Fucking they how many? 107 people you said?
So far, yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people to die
Yeah,
from,
but if it would have happened
crane.
during Mecca, it would have been like way more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, that place is full of bodies. That's all you see. Like if you look at the pictures of Mecca when like everybody's there, everybody just walks in circles around that fucking thing, and the entire place is full of people like a sports stadium would be. You know,
Yeah.
like everywhere on the ground would be bodies. If that would have happened then, it would have been way more people. You know what I'm saying? It would have been gnarly. So
that's insane.
So it sucks that it happened, but it's better that it happened when it did than later, I guess.
So did it actually hit the temple?
Yeah, well, it's the cranes are all around it, like working on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at video of it right now.
Yeah, it was just like early in the morning. It was like all foggy or something, and shit just fell over.
That's crazy, man.
And that happens, you know. Maybe it was holding too much weight, or like maybe it was off balance and wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like that shit's scary. They're big ass machines.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, shit like that happens all the time, and I think it was just it was like a weird place at a weird time on a weird date. But it's really unfortunate, man. Like these people, imagine following whatever religion it may be, and you go on like a quest because they go on a pilgrimage and like walk to Mecca. You know what I mean? And fucking imagine doing all that, going through all that, getting there, meeting all these people, and then getting hit by a crane and dying, or like having one of your family members die. And, you know, it'd probably be very confusing. I'm glad that I do not follow any sort of organized religion, because of times like that, I'd be like, why? What what the fuck?
Right.
But they say that God kicks you when you're down, and then it picks you up, and then kicks you in the nuts. I've heard Christians say that. So that doesn't sound appealing to me.
Yeah, me neither.
So,
in other news,
yeah.
I think probably the most important news of the last 2 weeks is the discovery of the other human species.
Oh, that's right. Yet another missing link.
Yeah, supposedly. So this is going to be like, what do you call it? This is going to be like the fucking key to evolutionary argument, you know, like to everybody's theory that we evolved from monkeys. This human like is half monkey, but has like all the same features as us, except for just shorter. And the recreation of the face, it looks like a monkey face with a beard, and like a man's body, almost. So far.
Yeah, I'm looking at the skull that they pieced together, and it's very very human-like.
Yeah, I got this little clip right here.
Cave in South Africa, scientists found fossils from a totally new species of ancient human called Homo naledi.
It's got a tiny brain with human-like arms, but an ape-like thorax and chest. The hands are a mix between very, very advanced human-like hands, but the fingers are curved. From mid-thigh down, it looks like a human. Long legs, human-like feet. Really a combination that we've never seen before in the fossil record.
2 years ago, a pair of amateur cavers came across the chamber really deep in this cave that held the fossils, and they notified scientists. This is located in South Africa. It's 30 miles northwest of Johannesburg. The two cavers, working their way through this cave, crawled through a really small opening called Superman's Crawl, After that, they climbed over a big jagged wall of rocks into a new chamber filled with stalactites. Keep in mind, this is totally pitch black, so they're exploring with headlamps, but they don't really have a clear idea of what everything looks like and what's going on. And then one of them noticed a tiny little opening, in some places less than 8 inches wide, that led to the chamber where the scientists ultimately found all these fossils. They had to hire basically really small cavers, 6 different women who could crawl through this tiny little space. And in total, they've excavated more than 1,500 pieces of fossils so far. This find included fossils from 15 different individuals of this species, which is just an absolutely huge discovery. There was a couple infants, a bunch of juveniles, one particularly old individual.
And I suppose most surprising is what they were doing in this chamber.
The conclusion, though it's not certain, is that their relatives may have been putting them there on purpose after they died. In National Geographic's cover story about this discovery, Jamie Shreve details how the scientists eliminated all their possibilities to figure out that likely these were intentional burials. So there's no tooth marks on the bone. It doesn't really seem like predators dragged these bodies in. There's no evidence that water carried them in. That would be a big deal just because right now the oldest clear evidence of intentional burial is 100,000 years old, and that's Homo sapiens. So this would predate it by maybe millions of years if it's accurate.
So
Wow.
That's pretty dope, right?
That's heavy, man.
Yeah, this is the type of news that always gets me excited because it's going to spark so much debate.
Yep.
You know, like history is being rewritten right now. And, you know, everybody sits on one side or the other of these debates. You know, some people believe in evolution, some people don't. Some people think that, you know, we came from monkeys that came from something else, right? And it just keeps going and going. And then other people just don't see the evidence. And, you know, so it's like, I'm not really educated enough to hold a valid debate about it.
But it's fun.
But I just feel like, it's really exciting news.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the perfect type of thing to spark debate, and it's going to be something that's going to be talked about for a long time, and this is just the beginning of it. So this type of stuff is always the coolest stuff for me, honestly. You know, this is going to be in our grandkids' history books. They're going to learn about this, you know, like this is going to be something significant. So I'm excited to see what happens with it and what kind of more information and stuff that we get to learn from it coming up.
Yeah, so am I. It's going to be dope. And just like how he was saying 100,000 years ago is the earliest record of burial sites by Homo sapiens. Right. And this would date it back millions of years. It just throws a whole wrench in everything. I love how every once in a while things will happen that just fuck up the way that we're looking at everything. And then we go, hold on, wait. And then we take this information and relook at old shit and then find out, you know, that we were doing this wrong, put this new part in, and now everything makes sense. And that's how we progress as a race, you know? And it's a trip, man. I think that's a great find. It reminds me of did you ever watch the Bill Nye and Ken Ham debate from last year?
No.
No. I really recommend it, man, because you watch. I'm gonna
check it out now.
Yeah, you watch. I actually have some highlights right here that'll probably be really good, because you listen to podcasts, and anybody out here that's listening listens to podcasts. So this debate's a little under 3 hours long, and it's Bill Nye is debating the side of evolution, and Ken Ham is debating the side of creationism, saying that the Earth is only 6,000 years old, or whatever. And he's some sort of professor or something, and it was a really good debate. And I want to see where they had it at. I don't remember, but here's some highlights of it. It happened last year in February 2014, and when I watched this really got me into a lot of the space shit and a lot of the shit that I'm into now. Just because Bill Nye is fucking just such an amazing and just crazy, thoughtful dude. And also, I'm pretty sure he's a hidden stoner and just never talks about it.
Oh, for sure.
But here's some highlights.
being indoctrinated to believe that creationists can't be scientists. There's experimental or observational science, as we call it. That's using the scientific method, observation, measurement, experiment, testing. All scientists, whether creationists or evolutionists, actually have the same observational or experimental science.
Mr. Ham and his followers have this remarkable view of a worldwide flood that somehow influenced everything that we observe in nature. A 500-foot wooden boat, 8 zookeepers for 14,000 individual animals, every land plant in the world underwater for a full year. I ask us all, is that really reasonable? You'll hear a lot about the Grand Canyon, I imagine, also, which is a remarkable place, and it has fossils. And the fossils in the Grand Canyon are found in layers. There is not a single place in the Grand Canyon where the fossils of one type of animal cross over into the fossils of another. In other words, when there was a big flood on the earth, you would expect drowning animals to swim up to a higher level. Not any one of them did.
So they pretty much go into this lengthy debate, and Bill Nye just disproves the whole 6,000-year-old thing, the whole Noah's Ark thing, saying that with all the animals that they had, that they wouldn't be able to take care of them all for a year and keep them all alive and have enough food to feed them, as well as enough room to carry them. And then Ken Ham says something along the lines of, oh, well, it was only so many animals, and then those animals bred over thousands of years and turned into all the animals we have now. And so he's like, there's really only 1,700 base animals. So Bill Nye does the math again with the base animals, and it's still not, you still couldn't carry enough food. And
yeah,
he just shoots everything down, disproves the shit out of the whole creationism theory, and does it with science, you know? And it's really dope. And you also learn yourself something when you watch it.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's Bill Nye versus Ken Ham.
Nice. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Also, what about Religulous? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
With Bill Maher, you should definitely check that out. That's really good. And Bill Maher debates everybody. He debates all these priests and pastors and Muslim priests and all he just travels around and debates all these people about religion and if it's real or not. And then there's another one that I like with Richard Dawkins called The Unbelievers.
Uh-huh. I think I've heard of it.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, and you should really check that one out. They go to different colleges and debate the existence of religion and shit too. And it's also another really thought-provoking thing that you could watch. And it's good to question everything. You know what I mean? It really is. It's healthy for you to want to learn more about things and want to be skeptical, and you know what I mean. So it's just good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone should definitely go check out that debate, especially if you are religious and if you are easily offended. Then I wouldn't go and watch the debate. But you also wouldn't be listening to this podcast, I don't think. You wouldn't be this far into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check it out. Also, we have a couple other things. While we're talking about, Bill Nye and, crazy shit, did you hear about Stephen Hawking's new black holes theory?
No, tell us.
All right. Stephen Hawking is a fucking insane man. When people go, oh, you're an inspiration. No, fuck you. Stephen Hawking is an inspiration because Stephen Hawking he literally could be laying in a home, in a bed, being taken care of by a nurse. You know what I mean? But instead, his mind is still really active and he uses it. And, he denied his life as a vegetable and was like, fuck all that shit. I'm still going to make a difference. And he still does. And he releases new shit all the time. He's always studying shit. He's disproving his own theories. That's how his thing goes, is that he'll have a theory, prove it, and then he'll disprove it. And then he'll prove it again. And then he'll disprove it and prove something else and just move along. So he's talked about black holes. He had a theory that black holes eat information and data and whatever, any sort of mass or carbon, and they just eat it, and it all gets put into the mass of the black hole, because black hole's mass is 0.5% of its galaxy. So it's all packed into this little tiny, dense spot. And he doesn't know what happens when you go through it. He thinks that maybe you go to some alternate dimension or some other point in space-time. Well, after looking at this information, he decided to say, I don't know why, but he says that the data is not eaten by the black hole, but it's actually stored on the event horizon, like the bright part around the edge of the black hole, that everything slows down and all the data is stored right there. So he's working on a way to point something at a black hole, gather the data, and read it, and figure out what it's made out of, where it was, what it used to be, all that shit. And we could really, if that works, we could learn so much more about our universe, because we could learn about what used to be and isn't here anymore, because, everything will be stored on this little rim. It's almost like a record, like a vinyl record, how everything's just stored around the edge, and it's just all about figuring out how to read it. So that dude's a trip.
Yeah, I always liked him. I always thought that he was really smart, and he always had like the right responses for everything when people would ask dumb questions, and he just like always proves that knowledge is key.
Yeah,
really, Stephen Hawking is like the smartest dude ever, and he surrounds himself with all the rest of the smartest dudes ever, and they just do so much stuff that benefits us, and I'm stoked that we have people like him.
And I mean, one of his biggest things is that anybody can do it. He went to school and he was smart and shit, but he has been studying his whole life, and that's why he knows all this. But at one point, he was just a college kid that, wanted to make a difference or whatever. And he, there's a lot of people that are just tinkering around in garages in their own little labs and make shit that changes the course of humanity, you know what I mean? And can make it a whole new ballpark that we're playing in just by some mistake that some kids made when they were doing an experiment. Or, a lot of great things come out of back rooms or home labs of college kids that are just drinking Red Bull up for fucking 19 hours a day, and they just come up with this new shit. Like, there was this kid I heard about, I forget what university it is, but these guys made a program that could read sound vibrations off of things like a leaf on a plant, or they used a Doritos bag and had someone talk in the same room as a Doritos bag, and the vibrations from your voice, they subtly move whatever it be, like a window pane, Doritos bag, leaf, and they figured out a way to read it and then translate it and play it, like actually play a sound file of what is being said from this video. And by making that, they can go back. They did one where it was John F. Kennedy standing behind a window at the White House, and they were recording him from the street, and he was talking to somebody, and they got their conversation off the window pane. So nobody ever knew. Yeah. Nobody ever knew what that conversation would have been, but now we get to listen to it because of this dude's technology,
That's crazy.
So, but it's really all about how good the video is, how many bags of Doritos are in the video. So you can't just translate anything. But still, it's a start. It's crazy.
Right. I got some kind of scary news.
Uh-oh. Are you serious, man? You're going to do this to me? I'm in the studio by myself right now. Hold on. Let me check. Let me check the corners. All right.
Can you dig it?
Lay it on me.
All right.
Scientists said they will reanimate a 30,000-year-old giant virus unearthed in the frozen wastelands of Siberia, and warned climate change may awaken dangerous microscopic pathogens. Reporting this week in PNAS, the flagship journal of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences, French researchers announced the discovery of Mollivirus sibericum, the fourth type of prehistoric virus found since 2003 and the second by this team. Before waking it up, researchers will have to verify that the bug cannot cause animal or human disease. To qualify as a giant, a virus has to be longer than half a micron, a thousandth of a millimeter, 0.00002 of an inch. Mollivirus sibericum soft virus from Siberia comes in at 0.6 microns, and was found in the permafrost of northeastern Russia. Climate change is warming the Arctic and subarctic regions at more than twice the global average, which means that permafrost is not so permanent anymore. A few viral particles that are still infectious may be enough, in the presence of a vulnerable host, to revive potentially pathogenic viruses, one of the lead researchers, Jean-Michel Claverie, told AFP.
So it could be like some crazy zombie virus. There's some fucking prehistoric shit that's coming out of the permafrost because shit's melting.
God damn.
Yeah, they're finding some scary shit, right? So like these could be, the theory is that it wasn't the comet that hit or the asteroid that struck or whatever it was. That's not what caused the extinction. The theory is now that dinosaurs were already dead or dying from disease.
Yeah.
And it's because at that time there was land bridges and things that were connecting continents that weren't connected before because of warming up period, kind of like what's happening now. And all these land bridges formed on ways for dinosaurs to get to places where they weren't before, and they show up and they get bit by these different bugs and parasites and all these different things that causes all this disease that the dinosaurs were ill-equipped to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's what caused the mass extinction.
Man, that's heavy. And we're about to recreate that shit?
Yeah.
God damn it. All right, well, I need to take a dab to that.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, so
dab it up. While you dab it up, I'll get to some important news.
All right, this'll be our NHP smoke sesh. You got a bong over there?
Oh yeah.
We gotta burn one with everybody before they make this virus and fucking unleash it to the world.
Freaking zombie virus.
They're gonna put it in all the TV dinners, so don't eat those.
What do you gotta do? Hashtag what?
Hashtag NHP smoke sesh. Go ahead and take a picture of you getting lit, and while you're listening, smoking with us in the wormhole, and post it up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and tag it NHP smoke sesh, and get in on the fun, motherfucker.
Well, my friends, the time has come again. It's that time of year. You know what I'm talking about. Football season is upon us.
Oh, shit.
It's a new season. A new year for the Raiders fans to rejoice. Except for we're off to a shitty start, my friends. We're already 0-1. We were not triumphant. We did not succeed. I don't know what happened to us, but we better get our fucking shit together. Amen, Abyss.
Amen, Abyss.
We're going to be praying for you in the Church of Cranabis this year.
Absolutely.
All season long. Game started out with Cincinnati scoring a touchdown in the first quarter. Then in the second, they came back with a field goal, making it 10-0. Then they scored another touchdown, 17-0. Then they scored another touchdown, 24-0. By the third quarter, it was 33-0.
Wow.
Raiders trailing all day long. And then we finally came back and scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Amen, Abyss. We scored a touchdown. And after the touchdown, we got a field goal or something, and another field goal. I don't know. I got pissed and I stopped watching. But yeah. Fucking Raiders, man. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
We fucking choked. We have everything we need, you know. We have a great team, all kinds of experienced players. We picked up so many good players. We have no excuses. I don't know what to say. I feel like we really just fucking failed. Our quarterback situation is embarrassing. I don't know what's going on with Derek Carr. I hope that he fucking gets his shit together and pulls it out, because I don't want him to have to go turn into his brother. But you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like they got what it takes to make it. And our backup quarterback is just not good enough to do shit. McGloin ain't doing it for us either, but he's the only one scoring touchdowns. Even in the preseason, he was the only one passing for touchdowns too. So I don't know, man. It's all up in the air right now. But I'm sure that all the Raiders fans out there can agree with my frustration, and they are going through the same thing. It's like we have no excuse. You know what I mean? We have no excuse now.
Well,
we
it's
have
only the
all
first.
These good players.
It's only the first game of the season.
Yeah.
I know that.
I hope we turn it around. I feel like we can. I have faith in us, but at the same time, it's like we're gonna go up against the Raiders or the Ravens next, and Ravens are a good team.
I was like, Raiders versus Raiders. What is this, Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, that'd be the shit,
right? I know that segment, that football segment that you did was amazing. I really enjoyed it. It's going on YouTube.
Nice.
The music, and you were just really upset. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I tried. You know what I mean? I was pulling for us. I'll do it again next week and the week after that. Win, lose, or fucking draw, I'll be here. Same Raider news, same Raider channel.
Damn right. So I have this other story. It's a little sad. I don't want to bring it down, but it's also fresh. There was this gentleman, Darren Hunt, that was shot and killed by Utah police last year. That's not the fresh part, okay? The fresh part is that her mother was suing the police department and was gonna force them to have stricter rules for body cameras and use of force training for law enforcement, because what it was is the guy was wearing a ninja costume and he had a samurai sword on his back or on his belt or some shit, and it was a dull sword. It wasn't like, it was metal. It wasn't fake or anything, but it wasn't sharpened, and it was part of his costume or whatever. And I'm not sure what happened exactly, but cops confronted him, shot him, and they offered his mother $900,000 to just to settle out of court and to pretty much not bring up the case anymore, not say her son's name in the same sentence as the police department. And she denied it and put all of their conversations online, like publicly, and is still suing the shit out of him. And I think it's dope. I mean, of course she's going to do that. It's her son, but you don't really she's not just standing up for her son, and she doesn't just want the cops to pay. Like, she wants everything to change, you know. It's not that she's just doing it for a selfish reason because she wants closure or because she wants those cops to lose their jobs or whatever. She wants all the laws to change, and she doesn't want this to happen to someone else's kid. So, we support her. We got love for you, Mrs. Hunt. And, if you need to stay in my house, I got you. That's how I extend my gratitude to anybody. You can stay in my house for up to 20 hours. And that's it.
Then you gotta go.
And they gotta be in a row. You can't just come and go for a week, be here 2 hours a day, all right?
Right.
And I know that don't add up.
So, here's something else I found that was pretty cool. This guy, a Spanish cancer patient, this 54-year-old dude, just got a 3D printed implant of a sternum and part of a rib cage.
I saw that, and it's all titanium and dope looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
So that's pretty dope, to be able to replace parts like that. And titanium's going to be like the same as bone. I think it might even be more lightweight than your actual bone. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but
yeah,
titanium's super lightweight.
Yeah, and titanium is.
It looks extra, like they look super thin, way thinner than your actual bone. So it probably like weighs the same or less than your actual bones. You probably wouldn't even notice it,
Yeah, after a couple years, crazy. It ain't gonna be shit. 3D printing is fucking nuts, dude. And I know that they have 3D printers at Home Depot now. You can get them for like $300. And it was 4 or 5 years ago that Futurama did an episode with a 3D printer in it, and they were printing shit. And I didn't even realize it until I watched it the other day all high. And it was from like 2005 or something like that. Or maybe the late 2000s, way before any of this 3D printing shit was public. And now they're making everything. I saw this page about stethoscopes that they're making with 3D printers that cost $2.50, and they work better than the current stethoscopes that are on the market. Something about because they can mold like the inside of it a certain way with the 3D printer to where it has the most acoustic value,
Yep.
So it's crazy, man.
So all you aficionados out there at home, if you're into 3D printing as a hobby on the side, and you're into making a little extra cash, hit us up at the Natural Habitat Podcast, and let's 3D print some money.
Yeah. It'll just be all like blue and whatever color the gel is that we use.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm going to build a house out of cash. You know
what I'm saying? Let's do that. Don't worry. I don't need to spend it. I'm just going to build shit out of it. Use it to decorate things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely going to get myself a 3D printer at some point, somehow, whether I have to buy it or steal it. I want to say that the price that I quoted earlier, $300, is not true. It's $3,000 for a 3D printer, for a home printer. And it's really you could only print something maybe the size of like a Rubik's Cube, And that's about as big as it gets. So what are you going to make? What are you going to make with that? Nothing.
Keychain.
They have Toyota put out the blueprints for a 3D printed car where you could just run them through a 3D printer, punch the information in, and it'll just make all the little parts one by one, and then you fucking piece it together, and it's drivable and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Like a kit car, like you fucking print it out at home yourself?
Yeah. And you can't do it with one of the small ones. You need a big one, but yeah, you print the shit out, dude. It's crazy. Here, I'm gonna look it up.
I seen some other 3D printed cars that were looking pretty cool. I seen 3D printed houses too.
Yeah.
Like they print with concrete. They pour concrete and they work exactly the same as like a 3D printer, and it's pretty sick. Let's build a house.
Yeah, it looks like they have all kinds of dope ass cars, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
They have a Ford GT supercar 3D print at 3dprint.com. They have all kinds of blueprints and all kinds of shit. Look, buy a 3D printer for $299. I guess $300 was right. Go to 3dprint.com. It's insane. Yeah, man. I'm gonna get one of these, and I don't even know what I would print first. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
What are you gonna
Cash.
do? What are you gonna print? You can't print cash.
What do you mean?
That's not how it works. You can't print paper. Whatever you print is gonna be hard.
Gold.
It's gonna be hard and silicone.
There's no way to print gold.
No, you can't. You can't print you can't make it into different materials.
Diamonds.
No.
Can't do diamonds.
No, because maybe you could do diamonds. Because I remember watching this dude make a wrench, and he made the wrench in the 3D printer, and it came out, and it was like a plastic kind of silicone thing, and then he coated it in like titanium or chrome or some shit. He dipped it in some
What are we gonna do with
thing.
a wrench?
He took a bolt off with it, man. He needed a
can't
wrench.
make money
He was
with a
like, man, I need a wrench, and he couldn't find a wrench. So how many people do you think are out there that can't find their wrench? Probably a lot.
I don't know.
Where's your wrench at? You got one?
I don't got one.
Yeah, see?
No.
You don't even have one. So what if your couch broke and you were like, man, I need to fix this shit. I need a wrench. And then I'd be like, no problem, man. Let me run that through my computer. And I had you a wrench in 4 to 6 hours.
Right?
Yeah, that's a
4 to
great
6 hours?
4 to 6 hours. You pay $7 for the wrench. You know, it took me 50 cents to make it. And that's great. That's great for me, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be not a lot of margin there. It's going to be a slow build on the business. But I think after 40 years of 3D printing that we could really make it somewhere.
I found a list of 10 coolest things ever
To 3D print?
3D printed.
Oh, lay it on me.
It's one's a car,
Yup.
and it's like a crazy car.
Whoa, okay.
It looks all crazy. It's like
Like a future
some
car?
type of, like some type of futuristic sporty car.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like all carbon fiber printed.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is a 3D printed 5-story office building.
Wow.
Yeah, for real. A fucking office building. Yeah.
Here, wait. Hold your spot in the line. That reminds me of because you can really print anything with 3D printers that we're gonna see in this list. There was a kid that bought a 3D printer and printed smaller 3D printers and sold them. He printed all the parts that he needed and then sold them.
Hell yeah, that's smart.
So go ahead. What's the third one?
The third one is a 3D printed Vincent Van Gogh ear.
That's weird.
Yep.
But hey, whatever.
Because he cut off his own ear.
Yeah. But why would you want it? Like just to
So they could
you can hang it
ear
up,
back.
give his ear back.
Yeah.
I'd 3D print it and then go to his grandson's or one of his ancestors' houses and be like, "Hey, here you go, man." I don't know how long
They used his real DNA
to make
the ear.
Ooh.
It's a 3D bioprint of his ear using one of his own relatives' DNA. It's crazy, right?
Hell yeah.
Number 4 and number 5 are coming in hot together. Number 4 and number 5 are 3D miniature power tools that are printed up. One's a drill, and one is a saw, and they're both the size of your thumbnail. He's holding them in his fingers like this. Yeah.
And does it work?
Yeah, and they both work.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm looking at them work right here.
That might be the same guy that... No, because it was a regular size wrench. It wasn't a little tiny mini wrench. It's like, what's that guy doing? Does he repair dollhouses? Or
I don't know.
is he trying to like, does he work for like the mafia and he's trying to interrogate like a squirrel?
I don't know. Number 6 is they printed this little man standing inside of like the eye of a needle.
Weird.
It's like, yeah, it's a 3D printed man.
Yeah.
It's a little man, but it's like standing inside the eye of a needle. It's like microscopic size.
I think I saw a picture of that, and my theory is that that's a giant needle and a regular sized 3D printed man. And he's not 3D printed, he's just wearing silicone on his face. Next one.
You be the judge. The next one is a 3D printed castle. Life-size castle.
Dang. I'll take that. I'll take the blueprints for that.
Me too. Number 8 is a 3D printed lawnmower. It works.
All right. I can see the use for that.
Yep.
Mostly lawn mowing.
And number 9 is the first thing ever printed in space.
But that's it? It didn't say what it is?
It's just a plate. It's just a thing that says made in space.
Wow. What a bunch of dicks.
Yeah. And then number 10 is the Liberator. And it's the gun that the kid 3D printed.
What gun?
It's a handgun. It's a 3D printed handgun that actually works.
Damn. See, that's fresh. That's probably what I would make, is a whole arsenal of weapons that are unregistered, and then I would take them on pizza deliveries with me, and I'd sell them. I'd sell them to people. Be like, hey man, you looking for a gun?
It looks like a flare gun or like something. Nobody would be scared of that thing.
Dude, I could make a lot more money selling 3D printed guns than I could make selling 3D printed wrenches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For sure.
That's nuts. So what would you 3D print if you had a 3D printer? That was that was the size of a car, you know. Don't say a car.
A time machine.
A time machine?
Or like some type of spacecraft.
See, I don't know if you could 3D print stuff, but you would still have to know the technology that goes inside of it to be able to print that as well. You know what I mean?
I can't just download it somewhere?
Oh, I mean, maybe, but I don't know if there's plans for a time machine online that'll work.
There's got it.
It's like, cause what I would do if I was in the 3D printing world where I had blueprints out there, I would make a blueprint and I would call it working time machine. You know, fucking use this, go back in time, go forward in time, no butterfly effect. You could do whatever you want, go slap anybody, no big deal. And I would market that all over the place. I would pay for it to get posted on all these sites and on NBC and all this shit. I'd make it a YouTube ad so that it gets played in front of everyone's YouTube videos. People would buy this blueprint. They would print it out at their house, hoping to find a time machine on the other end of their 3D printer. And when they open the door to the printer, they will find a 6-foot version of my dick. And it'll be lifelike, only it'll be blue, and it's going to be my dick and my balls on the ground. Just kind of laying there. Yeah, avatar dick. And that it's kind of like the 3D printing world version of a virus, you know? And then I'm like, you got duped. You paid $100 for this.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna work on that today. I'm gonna get my blueprint ready. So one more thing I wanted to hit for everybody out there that is a stickler for grammar and only wants to talk in complete sentences with actual words and people that say, that's not how you say that, and that's not a real word. Those kind of people, I have some news for you, just so you don't get caught looking stupid. There are new words that got added to the Webster's Dictionary, and some of them are pretty ridiculous. They include photobomb, meme was added, emoji was added, WTF, jeggings, dark money, and twerk. So all of these new words that you hear all over the place are now official words that people can say. So start saying them, start using them, and feel like you're distinguished, because twerk is a real word and you can use it in many different forms. Mostly it's about shaking the buttocks, especially while squatting.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, that's what it says. It says it's a sexually suggestive dance characterized by rapid, repeated hip thrusts and shaking of the buttocks, especially while squatting. Yeah, that's not how I would have. I guess maybe that's how I would have defined it. I don't work for Webster, though.
Nice.
Yeah. Imagine having that job and having to take all these fucking stupid words that people are making. You know what's going in next year? 2016. We're going to get hashtag Yogle in the dictionary. Because YOLO's in there. So Yogle. Yogle's going in. Next. You only get one life. And live it right. And also live it with one headphone in your ear, listening to us. Even if you don't listen, just let it play. So we'll get the play. Just turn it on, let it play, and leave. So until next time, have a good day, everybody.